From New York, here is I've Got a Secret, starring Steve Allen.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Good evening once again. Welcome to, as you've been told now, I've Got a Secret. Now that you've met Cheryl Conway, the star of The Nurses, let's get to meet the patients on our panel over here. First of all, Betsy Palmer.
Good evening.
Bill Cullen.
I'm in isolation.
Bess Meyerson. And Dr. Henry Morgan. All set to play the game, panel?
What?
No.
They finally said it. All right, well, whether you are or not, let's send out our first contestant, please. There you go, sir. Good evening, and now would you tell us your name and where you're from?
Floyd Root from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Floyd Rood from New Orleans. Well, panel, on the 15th of September in 1963, Mr. Rood started out from California on a cross-country trip, and that isn't too unusual, of course. But what is unusual is that it took him 340 days to reach his destination in Florida. Now, sir, if I'm not being too inquisitive, may I ask you why the trip took so long?
That's my secret.
All right. Well, if you'll whisper that secret to me right now, we'll show the audience at home why you spent 340 days getting across the United States. I should have guessed a thing like that. Well, panel, the clue to Mr. Rood's secret concerns his 340-day cross-country trip and something he did along the way. And we'll start the game with Bess Meyerson.
Thank you, Steve. Mr. Ruin, is it?
Root.
Ruin. Did you do this outdoors? In other words, rather than being inside of a conveyance across country?
Yes.
Because you look very suntanned.
Thank you.
Did you collect things on the way?
No.
Did you do it alone?
Yes.
Were you trying to set some kind of record?
No.
Was it anything to do with your business?
No.
Purely pleasure?
Yes.
$20 down. There was another reason, which we'll tell you about later, but that's okay. $20 down, 60 to go, and we go to Henry Morgan.
Sir, were you doing a stunt?
No.
Well, yes, I think. Most people would call it a stunt in a sense.
Well, let's go all the way out. It wasn't something as bad as pushing a peanut with your nose. I mean, it wasn't that kind of thing, was it?
No.
No. Was it anything like that?
Well, it was more like it than saying hello to your sister, you know. Incidentally, you have a wonderful sense of humor, Mr. Root. After your spot is over, would you mind sitting out in the audience? All season long. Okay, Henry.
Never mind, Steve. He's mine. Sir, were you using any kind of device?
Yes.
$40 down, 40 to go. Yes? Betsy?
Mr. Rood, did this device involve your feet more than any other part of you?
Yes.
I only say this because I noticed as you walked over to the desk that you had patent leather shoes on. And they looked a little different than most people's shoes.
Thank you.
And so, yes. Now, do they have the... Did you... Shall I go again?
We're going again.
Did you dance your way across the United States?
No.
Not a bad idea. I don't know how long Mr. Rood's going to hold out with these funny questions. Yes, sir.
I got to tell you what Beth said to me. She says every time we ask him a question, he looks like he's picking up new ideas for the next trip.
He's got a couple of good ones there.
Floyd, is it possible? I read something about that time. Did you drive a golf ball across the nation?
Yeah. Mr. Root is a man who really believes that getting there is half the fun, because after he retired as a professional golfer, he chose a method of travel which, as you've discovered, suits him to a T. His secret is that he did hit golf balls, not just one, every inch of the way from California to Florida, believe it or not.
How many strokes?
How many strokes was it?
96,368 little strokes.
Henry Morgan has a question. Yes.
What is par?
200,001 strokes. I lost 2,559 golf balls, and I had to kick it 137 times because I went up a pass was 5,600 feet.
He cheated his way across the country. Do you realize that? What was your most difficult hole?
I think they're all coming across Texas with that heat and everything else and waiting for the cars to clear. Because I'll go right down the center of the highway and hit the ball, and man, those people do a triple take. They don't know what's going on.
Can you imagine coming out of a little saloon? You're driving across country, you go in for a couple of beers, you come out and you see this guy hitting the ball.
That happened to us. Oh, shoot.
You mean you went into the saloon and hit the golf? Did you lose many balls?
Yeah, 2,559 golf balls I lost. We have golf balls all the way back to California.
Well, you can always find your way back then. Go from ball to ball. Now then, what was the longest single shot you hit?
The longest putt I hit was 1.75 miles. I was up 5,600 feet, and I got that ball rolling. That highway patrolman's bag right back at me. He didn't know what was going on.
We have a question from Henry.
No, I don't want to, bother anybody, but why did you do it?
There's a good reason, which we'll tell you about in just a moment, Henry, an excellent reason. And it better be an excellent reason. But it is. But before we tell you the reason, we're going to show you a little bit of film now, just so you won't think this whole thing is just a stunt of some kind. It really happened. Will you tell us what we're looking at as we see this bit of film?
Sure, Steve.
Okay, the panel can watch too, and we'll all see what happens.
I'm hitting a golf ball out of the ocean here. I'm starting. And I exploded the ball right out of the ocean, and the game was on. And here I'm approaching the City Hall in Phoenix, Arizona. I hit this ball right up there, and the mayor, Milt Graham, was waiting for me and welcomed me, and boy, he helped me hit some balls too. We went right on down the main drag. Here I had to hit this one back because I kind of sliced this one to get it back on the road. And I was on my way again. This was headed down out of twos. Here I shanked while I went down in this gorge, and I had to climb down and explode the ball right back out on top of the railroad tracks, and I got it going again back to the highway.
Now, I should mention, as I said, that there is this purpose that Mr. Root had in mind, serious purpose behind the trip. He did it to call attention to his work in starting youth centers for delinquent boys. He lectures cross-country. He did lecture for the Floyd Rood Youth and Sports Foundation. Mr. Rood, good luck to you with your youth foundation, and thanks for giving us a very entertaining spot and visit this evening. We'll be back with you in just a moment, but first...